talk about do good, feel good, which are, there are just a couple of mottos in my life, 3 in particular, that I kind of try to stick to really build my character and to, in hopes of one day becoming a person of influence and a person that a lot of people can look up to in the future. So just to start things off, just by raise of hands, if I ask you, can you remember a moment someone did something nice for you? Could you think of one specific situation? Yeah, a few of you. And so just by seeing that you can still remember this particular situation in which someone did something nice for you, it really shows that you guys have been impacted by this or influenced by this in some way. And so I kind of want to open your minds to being a good person just in general, so that you too can be a positive influence and impact someone else's life in a positive way. So where my inspiration comes from is my mom. That's me and my mom, and she doesn't really preach to me about these things. She doesn't tell me, Eunice, you have to be selfless, you have to be giving, you have to be understanding. She never said these things to me. I just learned them just from watching her, being a mom to me, being a person of this society, and just being a good person in general. So these are 3 characteristics about my mom that I try to embody in my everyday life, and I really strive to be and be described as. So selfless, giving, and understanding, these are things that I think are all related in one way or another. They kind of tie into one another. So many of the things I'm going to talk about, they're going to seem pretty similar, but I think that each one has kind of its own unique distinction. So my first kind of motto is others.
Excuse me, stop you right there. Stop using the word stuff. So unless you're going to say so many.
Okay.
That's your transition word, so.
Okay. Others before yourself. What this means is that you're not thinking of yourself first. You're thinking of others before yourself. And so think of others first. When I say this, I mean to be mindful, be considerate, and be thoughtful. Whenever you're in a situation that involves other people, try to put their well-being before yours. When you want to, you want to do something, but then you know that this other person may not want to do that specific thing, you have to be mindful of what's going to make them happy, what's going to be most comfortable for them. And I know sometimes this might be hard because as people, we always kind of want to be comfortable. We always want to do what we want. But if you guys try this out, if you really try to think of others before yourself, you will receive a lot of benefits from it, and it will in turn make you a happier person because you are doing something good for someone else. Also serve others first. Thinking of others is, being just more mindful, but serving others first, I'm talking about more action. When I was in high school, I volunteered for this organization every Saturday from sophomore year to senior year, and I still volunteer, but we take care of people with mental and physical disabilities. And I, of course, wanted to serve myself first when I was first given this opportunity. I was a high schooler, I was taking AP classes, playing a bunch of sports. I had friends that I wanted to socialize with. The last thing I wanted to do was give up all of my Saturday to help other people. But I ended up doing it anyway just because I knew it was probably the right thing to do, and I really wanted to kind of step out of my comfort zone and see what this could do for me. And what I learned from this was that joining this organization was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made, because I've learned so much from it, and it's really built my character. Like my Rutgers essay to get into the school during the application process was based on my volunteering for this organization. And what I learned from serving other people first is that when you do this, you really truly make other people happy. These people were people with disabilities. They range from maybe 5 years old to even 27-year-olds, and because they have these mental and physical disabilities, there's so many things that they can't do on their own. And when you're out helping them and serving them, you just see, it just exudes so much genuine happiness, because even if you think you're doing something so small, they take it as, this huge thing. Like if you were to, just be with them there on that Saturday, just talking to them, just being like, hi, how are you? And the people that they encounter in their everyday lives, they're not going to stop to, just converse with them. And the fact that you're even doing that, they're so, they think so much of it. And I was really humbled by that, and I was really able to witness what it's like, all of the benefits that you can receive out of serving others and really putting the needs of others before yourself. Secondly, give from the heart. And when I say give from the heart, what I really want to emphasize is don't give with the expectation that you're going to receive as well. I think this is the reason why many people, I want to say especially in our generation, are often disappointed by people, or they are hurt by people, or feel like they've been backstabbed. Like, I'll look on Twitter and people will always tweet something like, when you do something nice for someone but they're not nice to you in return, or like the feeling when you're nice but you do all these things for someone but they don't do anything for you. Well, what if we just gave, and what if we were just nice to people for the sake of giving and for the sake of being nice to people? I think that will save a lot of heartache. It will save a lot of disappointment, and in addition to that, it'll make you happy. If you give from the bottom of your heart, if you give genuinely because you want to, you will be, and seeing that other person growing from it, or if they're happy because of what you did for them, that really makes you happy, because that's what you wanted. You wanted to do that for them. And so when you give from the heart, it really changes everything. You can give resources, meaning money. You can give your clothes, your old clothes. You can donate your clothes. You can give food to the homeless people. Just those physical things. These are all resources that you could physically give to others. But I think more than that, I know as college students, it's very hard to give up money, but I think that even more so, it's harder to give up your time. When I talk about your time, I mean you're taking chunks out of your day, chunks out of this valuable time you could be using to build up your future, or do something that you want to do for someone else. I want to try to put it into perspective for you guys. And so, would you guys rather just give $5 for this organization that helps homeless people? Or would you guys take 7 hours out of your Saturday to physically go to a soup kitchen yourself and help give food to those homeless people? A lot of us would probably just want to hand the $5 and be done with it. So when you think about time, it's very hard for us to give up, but I think it's very worthwhile, because you see exactly the impact and the results of your actions. And I think that time is something that is so precious to us, but we should also try to use that very selflessly. Our time is our time, but if we were to give up our time to help other people, everybody, like yourself and everyone else, will benefit from it. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Actually, this is the thing that I really learned from this class, especially within the last 2 weeks, because we've been coming up here and sharing our last lectures, so I've really been able to hear your stories, hear where you guys are coming from, and listening to these different experiences that helped shape you guys to where you guys are now. And obviously, before coming into this class and on that first day of class, I probably had these preconceptions and these judgments of every student here, but a lot of those were kind of broken, because I got to really learn who you are and why you are the way you are. And so I want to remind everybody that everyone has a story. Even the people that are quiet and sitting in the back, or the people that are loud and kind of obnoxious, everyone has their own story, and everyone has a reason for why they are the way they are. And if you take the time to listen to it, I think you'll really be able to better appreciate them. Listening is something that is so hard for us to do, because we're so quick. We just want to get to the point. We want to get what we want to get out of whatever conversation we're having, that we don't take the time to really listen and soak in something important, something that could really change our outlook on that person. So it's really important to just take the time to listen and be patient and really be open-minded to hearing what others have to say. And the results of this, results of being a good person, results of being selfless, giving, and result of putting yourself in other people's shoes is positivity. And positivity really is contagious. I know that there have been studies where someone goes to a Starbucks drive-through and they'll pay for the person behind them, and then that person will pay for the person behind them, you know? If you do something good for a person, that person feels good, and that person will be more inclined to want to do good as well. So really, something small that you do could impact a whole group of people. In addition to this, there are so many people that say, oh, you know, bad karma, if that person did something bad to you, they'll get what's coming to them, you know, they're going to get what they deserve. But why can't we think of karma in a more positive light? Like, if I do good, you know, good will come to me, whether that good comes instantaneously or whether it comes a little further down the line. I wish we could, you know, think of how doing good could also bring you good as well. And that's pretty much the end of it. I just wanted to remind everybody just to try to be a good person, and if we were to all do these things, then everything, like this whole society would be so much more cohesive, so much more loving, and so much more compassionate, and it would really make like all of our lives so much easier. Thank you.